Exiting prison without a home increases the likelihood of reoffending, and it also makes it harder to secure bail or parole.
Women's offending overwhelmingly comes from their responses to the complexity and unaddressed psychosocial issues, challenges in their lives.
So we want to take action now to genuinely invest in early intervention and service-based responses.
We need to fund reintegration service providers to deliver their programs for longer to a larger number of participants.
$1 spent today, you may not see the results for 5 years, but you should see the results with the siblings of this group and the children that follow.
Some claim that the media has become so sensationalized in reporting and also very bad and negative publicity, and may blow the problem up.
I do think the media has a lot to answer for the labelling of that community when there are so many young people also doing very well, educated, finishing school, who can't get a job because employers and society have got a racial lens to employment as well.
Something that I'm struggling to understand is with the Relink and the Reconnect, and they're programs that have been around, I believe, for a considerable amount of time. They are so successful and they offer so much. Why are we still seeing the rates of recidivism that we're seeing?
If you were to see Relink and Reconnect constricted or disappear, you'd see even worse outcomes than you're getting now. And a big part of why things are getting worse is because it's so hard to provide any sort of meaningful support and then through care back to the community for people who are on remand. And as I'm sure the committee is aware, that's currently over 40% of the prison population.
The intersection between family violence, homelessness, and then the likelihood of that victim of crime being likely to offend. Do you have any particular commentary around that?
Almost 2/3 of them have experienced family violence. So that link, as you say, is very real, as is the fact that over 68% of them have experienced homelessness. So that those links, as we see, all along in the criminal justice system around homelessness, family violence, and recidivism really play a key role.
Expand a little bit about the 2006 approach to the police protocol for homelessness at that time of the Commonwealth Games and what we should be implementing and relearning from it.
It's a framework, it's a starting point, it's about exercising discretion, but the idea is that if it's used appropriately, it gives clear practical guidance to train and equip police to make those referrals and really stop people entering the justice system in the first place.
In your view, what does a gender-informed response to women in contact with the prison system look like?
It's really looking at what are those unaddressed or underlying issues behind those pathways to offending and addressing them in that sort of early intervention phase and building up women's capacity, their knowledge and supporting them from that outset.
What else could be done in your view? I think the implication of your previous comments is that certainly through our public commentary, through the media, we could do far better to make sure that we don't label in a negative way those exiting the criminal justice system.
I think the public mirrors the language that is used in public debates and contests like elections. And while we sort of continue to run law and order elections where the main parties essentially compete to punish the people that we're talking about here, this level of discrimination is unlikely to change. And where we've seen real reductions in prison populations, in discrimination, in recidivism rates is where there's bipartisan support for these results. Places like Norway, certain jurisdictions in the United States where there's bipartisan support. And this cross-party inquiry is a fantastic start, and I just really encourage the committee to keep working with their colleagues across different parties to speak about these issues differently moving forward.